Okay, if you're an hourly worker or you rely on tips for a living, you're gonna want to listen to this. There's a brand new law on the books. It's called the OBBBA, the Our Better Bargain for Blue Collar Americans Act, and honestly, it could put thousands of dollars right back into your pocket. It's designed to give a real break to working folks. But before you start planning how to spend that extra cash, we need to get real about what this law actually does. Let's break it all down.
You've probably seen stuff like this floating around online, right? Stop paying tax on your tips. Your overtime is now tax-free. I mean, it's a huge claim, and it's got everybody talking. And yeah, it is based on a massive new law that actually passed. So is it really that simple? Well, you know how it goes with any big government bill. The answer is not quite. The reality is a little more nuanced, but, and this is the important part, it's just as valuable if you know exactly how to play by the new rules. And that's what we're going to do right now. So here is the absolute key you need to understand. This law did not create a tax exemption. An exemption would make your tip and overtime money totally invisible to the IRS. That's not what happened. Instead, it created some massive new tax deductions. Think of a deduction like a shield for your income. You get to protect a huge chunk of your earnings from federal income tax, and that means a much smaller tax bill for you. But you gotta know how to use that shield. All right, first up, let's talk tips. If you've ever gotten a great tip and thought, man, it stinks that I have to pay tax on this, well, you're not alone. The OBBB finally does something about this, and it all kicks in for your 2025 taxes, the ones you'll file in 2026. So get this, the new rule lets you deduct up to $25,000 of your qualified tip income from your federal income taxes. Let that sink in. That is a huge shield that could slash what you owe the government.
So who gets to use this? Well, you've got the folks you'd expect. Bartenders, waitstaff, rideshare drivers, they're all covered. But here's the real game changer. For the very first time, the beauty industry is getting in on this. That's right, cosmetologists, barbers, hairstylists, you can all now take advantage of this awesome deduction.
Now, for a tip to count, the IRS has 3 simple rules. 1, it has to be totally voluntary. So those automatic service charges some restaurants add, yeah, those might not count. 2, the customer, not your boss, has to be the one who decides how much to give you. And 3, it can't be some kind of pre-negotiated fee. Pretty straightforward, right?
Okay, here is a major warning, so please pay attention. This deduction is specifically for working and middle-class people. If your total income for the year goes $1 over $150,000, you could lose this benefit entirely. It's a cliff, meaning it just drops off completely. So if you've got a side hustle or your partner also works, you have to watch that number like a hawk.
Okay, we've got the tick deduction down. Now let's dig into the other massive change from this law, overtime. This is where most people are getting it wrong. You might be thinking, great, my entire overtime check is tax-free. Whoa, hold on. That is not how this works, and what I'm about to say next is absolutely crucial. The law lets you deduct up to $12,500 in qualified overtime pay. And hey, if you're married and you file your taxes together, that number doubles to $25,000. But what in the world is qualified overtime pay? Here's the secret. The deduction only applies to the premium part of your pay. You know, the time and a half part. It's the extra money you earn for pushing past 40 hours a week. It is not the regular hourly wage you make during those overtime hours.
This chart makes it super clear. Let's imagine you make $20 an hour. Your overtime rate is time and a half, so that's $30 an hour. But that $30 is made of 2 parts, your normal $20 base rate plus a $10 premium. Only that extra $10 an hour is deductible. You don't deduct the full $30, just the bonus part. Just a couple more rules here. First, this is for overtime that's required by federal law under the Fair Labor Standards Act. This mostly covers hourly, non-exempt workers. And second, just like with the tips, this benefit starts to phase out and disappear if your income hits that $150,000 mark.
Okay, so your federal income tax bill is about to get a whole lot smaller, which is awesome, but there's a hidden tax that you need to know about because I really don't want you to get a nasty surprise when you look at your next pay stub.
This is so important. Whenever you hear a politician say tax-free, they are almost always talking about one thing, federal income tax. They are not talking about FICA taxes. That's the money that funds Social Security and Medicare.
Just look at this. Think of your paycheck like a pizza. Thanks to these new deductions, that slice for federal income tax might get a lot smaller. But that 7.65% slice for FICA, that is not changing. It's untouchable. You're still going to see that money come out of every single paycheck.
Okay, so you know the rules, you know the limits, and you know about the FICA tax. So how do you actually make sure you get every penny you deserve when tax time rolls around? It's easy. Here's your action plan.
Just 3 simple things to do in 2025. First, your boss is now required to list your qualified overtime on your W-2 form. Double check it. Second, and this is huge, track every single tip all year long. You can't deduct what you don't report. And third, if your income is even close to that $150,000 cliff, please talk to a tax professional.
Seriously, when I ran the numbers, the savings were in the thousands. This isn't just pocket change we're talking about. It's a real, significant reward for all your hard work. The government has actually changed the rules in your favor, so don't miss out.
And look, you don't have to wait until 2026 to get started. The single most important thing you can do is step 2. Start tracking your tips accurately right now, today, every shift. This is your money. You earned it. Go get it.